I'm going to model something very simple. I'm going to make some crayons like this. All right, just because I've got a young daughter and I see these things all over the floor, I said, what the heck? This mean make a nice beginner tutorial. So here I am in the opening scene of Blender. I'm going to hit A to select everything and X to delete. I'm going to switch over to Cycles Render so I can use GPU Compute, and we'll just be putting some very simple materials on later. I think I'll do this from the front view, so I hit 1 and then 5 to go in orthographic view, so I'm looking straight on. And I'm going to start by going Shift A. Actually, first of all, I'll put my screencast keys on so you can see what I'm typing. Okay, screencast keys are on so you can see what I'm typing down there. I'm in front view and I'm going to go Shift A, and that's going to bring up the Add dialog box, and I'm going to choose a cylinder. So there's my cylinder. I'm going to roll my scroll wheel on my mouse so I can zoom in or zoom out. I'm going to go into edit mode, and you can do that down here, edit mode, or you can hit tab if you've got this pie chart installed. And to do that, you would just go up to File, User Preferences, into Add-ons, and in the search you'd go search for pie and make sure this is a check mark and saved, and you can get that thing. So object mode, tab, edit mode. All right, I'm going to scale this. I want it a little bit thinner, but I'm going to make this longer anyhow, so I don't want to affect the Z direction right now. I just want to make it thinner in the X and the Y, so I'm going to hit S for scale, and then I'm going to hit Shift Z, and that means it'll only scale in the X and in the Y and not in the Z. So I can pull it in and make it nice and thin. I will now go scale it in the Z, so I'll go SZ, and I'm just going to pull, and I'm going to make it a little bit longer like that. Okay. All right. So these are the selection modes of vertex. Here, I'll turn it like that so you can see a little bit better. Vertex, edge, or face. It doesn't matter which one you use for this. By the way, I think I want to get rid of the grid floor, so I'm going to hit N, and over here under display, I'm going to uncheck the grid floor and N to close that. All right, so what we want to do is we want to select this top part, this face. So I'm in face selection mode. All right, so again, tab, oh no, not tab, control tab is what will bring up this menu down here. If you don't want to click down there, just go control tab. You can choose whatever you like. Okay, so face selection mode, and I'm going to zoom right in, and I want to make a little indentation here, and then I'm going to pull this up a little further. So I'm going to hit I on my keyboard, I, and that'll already start it. And I'm going to pull in just a little bit, just like that. I'm pulling my mouse in. I'm not pressing any buttons, in and out. Say maybe around there. All right. So this would represent the paper part of the crayon, and what I'm going to make is this little part right here, and then the tip. All right, so I'm going to hit E to extrude and left mouse click to accept. See E down there? And I've created more geometry right here, right on top of the old geometry, so I can now pull this up like that and make that little edge part, this part here. And then I'm going to have to go in a little bit and then come up. All right, so I'm going to use the inset again. I'm going to hit I, and I'm going to pull in just a little bit, maybe a similar distance to this. Okay. And now we're going to make the tip. So I'm going to go E to extrude and left click, and now I can pull this up a ways like that. And now I'm going to make the tip, so I'm going to hit S to scale, and I'm going to pull in. That's going to scale it in every direction. Come like this, but I'm not going to go to a point. I'm just going to go down to about there. And then I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to tilt this a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to hit 1 to go into front view. All right, so I still have that top part selected, and I'm going to rotate it downwards a bit. So I'm going to rotate around the y-axis like that. Not to any particular angle, just whatever feels right. So I'm going to rotate Y. So I'm going to go R, Y, and pull. R, Y, and pull. And I'm going to get that, and that's good enough, just like that. Okay, so I made that part. Let's go down to the bottom of the crayon now. And let's make the part of the crayon that sticks out. So I'm going to select that bottom part, and I'll show you what we're going to do. We're going to make this part. All right, so it's indented a little bit and then pulled out. So I'm going to do the inset command again. I pull in a little bit, All right, and then I want to pull out. Now I can't just pull out like that. I'm going to extrude first. We're going to go E to extrude, left mouse click, and then pull it down, something like that, so it sticks out. Okay, now if we just go back to object mode and have a look, it's the beginning of a crayon. It still looks a little rough. What we're going to do next is I'm going to put on a subdivision surface. So I'm going to click this wrench, go to add modifier, subdivision surface, and I'm going to change this to 2. And I'm also going to come over here to shading and click smooth. So it's looking a lot better, but it's lost some definition. So, and I've got this weird stretching here. So what I need to do is to go back into edit mode, do it down here, and I need to give some support to this because of the stretching. All right, so I'm going to put some more geometry in here. I'm going to put a ring here and a few other places as well. So I'm going to just hover my mouse over here and go Control R, and maybe let me zoom out so you can see better where it's going to put it. Control R, see that pink line? I'm going to left click, and now it changed colors. I can move this with my mouse. I'm going to pull it up near the top. Now I'm going to zoom in. Because I clicked in order to zoom in, I can't move it with my mouse anymore, but it's still selected and I can pull it more. I want to pull it and watch, see this white area? I'm going to pull it up, you know, somewhere around there. I don't need to go right to the very edge. I'll go to around there. And see all this funny stuff? Watch this. I'll deselect there. I'm going to hover my mouse over this region and go Control R, puts in a pink line, left click, and now I can move it. And I'm going to push that stuff down by pulling that edge there. Okay? I'm going to do the same up here. Control R, and I'm going to pull one up close to the top there. Let's just come out and see what that has done. That's sharpened that up. It's still not looking right yet, but we're getting closer. All right, we need to do some work here, okay, and I may come back to that. So let's go to edit mode, and I'm going to put a ring in here. Actually, you can't see it, so I'll zoom out a bit. Control R puts it up there. I'm going to click and pull it down. Just like that. Let's have a look at what that did. Okay, that sharpened that edge up a little bit. I'll go back into edit mode, and there is something else that could help this. All right, this is still a sharp corner in the modeling. I think I'm going to select this edge right here, that whole edge, but I'm going to go Shift Alt and click, and that'll select the whole edge, and I want to bevel this edge. And to do that, you go Control B and pull away, and I'll start to get that effect. I get that blue area. And I'm going to roll my mouse wheel up 1, 2, and that's going to put 2 more edges in there. I'm going to left click to accept and A to deselect and come back into object mode. And that has smoothed out that edge a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing down here. Now, which edge? It's the sharp one, right on the ledge there. So Shift Alt and click on that. Control B, pull away, get a bit of a space, 1, 2. Doesn't even have to be quite that big. That should be all right. Deselect, and let's have a look at that. All right, starting to look a little bit nicer. Let's come down here and see if we need to do some work down here. Well, we do. All right, I haven't put in an edge loop yet to define the region between the crayon and the paper. So let's go there. See, we had this, so let's go Control R, left click, and pull this down to near the bottom. And whenever you put on a subdivision surface, it does weird things. So you just add these edge loops. In fact, this one could go down a little bit further. All right, deselect, Control R on this area, and pull up. Let's have a look at this part. Not bad, a little bit sharp, so let's go ahead and bevel that. Shift Alt and click on that edge, the sharp edge, Control B, pull away, so you get a little region there. I'm going to roll my mouse wheel up so I get 2 more edges in there, and let's have a look at that. Okay, that's a little bit better. This part's messed up, so we'll fix that up. What we're going to do is we're going to go, well, there's a couple of ways we could do this. We could try in face selection. Okay, just select that face, and let's use the inset eye and just pull in a little bit and see what that's done. And that's rounded that off nicely. And let's just have a closer look at that bottom. That looks okay to me, I think, so far. Okay, let's go work on the top. Now, one thing that I'm gonna put, well, I don't know if I'm gonna put an edge loop in. What I could actually do is in face selection, I could select that top face. I know it looks like a point. By the way, you could take off the subdivision surface, unclick the eye there. See, I've selected that face. All right, and I am going to go eye to inset and bring it in just a little bit. Even just that's fine. And let's see if that cleared it up. It definitely helped, but I got all this stretching pattern, so we're going to put an edge loop in there. So I'm going to go back into edit mode. I'm going to go Control R, and I'm going to left click. I can now move this up, and I'm going to pull it up to about there. Let's try that. There we go. That looks more like a crayon, doesn't it? All right. I think that's probably good for what we want to do. All right, so let's give this thing some color now. I don't, by the way, have to apply my subdivision surface. I don't have, I mean, it's getting a little bit higher poly, but I don't need to apply it, put it that way. I'm going to come over to the Materials tab, which is this circle here. I'm going to click that, and I'm going to click New, and because I'm in Cycles Render, it may look a little bit different than if you were just in the regular Blender renderer. I'm going to leave the surface under diffuse, and I'm going to choose a color that I like, and I'm going to choose red, something like that, red. Okay. Now I want this color to show up in the viewport here, and so I'm going to come down to Settings, and I'm going to scroll down to the bottom where it says Viewport Color. I'm going to click on that, and with the eyedropper, I'm going to select that red. Now everything is going to go red because I've only got the one material so far, and that's going to color everything. But I'm going to make the paper a different color. So let's make a new material. I mean, we could call this red if we want, and that'll change the name right there. Let's click on this plus and go New. And let's change this to sort of a grayish color for the paper. Actually, the paper is not gray. It's another color of the red. So let's do that. Let's make this sort of an off red kind of color. We'll try that. And then the viewport color, let's click this. Nothing's going to change yet. All right. We've got that there. We could say, I don't know, red paper or something like that. Did I spell that right? Yeah. I have to tell Blender which parts of the model I want to put that color on. So I'm going to go into edit mode. I want to select all these parts right here. So I'm going to go into face selection, and I'm going to Shift Alt and click right in the middle, and that's going to get all of those. I could try that so far, and I'll show you what happens. With all of those polygons selected and on this red paper material, I'm going to go Assign. Now let's go out and see what issues there are. All right, what it's done is it's put that color there, but I selected everything up to the top and to the bottom. But because there's a subdivision surface and things get stretched, things don't always work the same way. And the way to solve that is to simply put another edge loop. So I'll go like this, Control R, click, pull up. You see the darker red stretching? I'm going to pull it right up to near the top. And I'm going to put another one down here. Control R, I'm going to pull it down near the bottom. And that color should be where we need it now. Okay, not quite far enough down there, and maybe not quite high enough here. So let's go back into edit mode, and let's see what's going on. We're going to need to move a couple of these edges. So I'm going to Shift Alt and click on that one, and I'm going to pull it a little bit higher. I'm going to click that one, I'm going to pull it a little bit higher. I'm going to pull it almost right up to the very top. Let's see how that looks if I zoom out a bit. All right, that's pretty good. Well, you know what we need to do? We actually need to color this part with this. The paper goes there and the crayon starts about there. To get this dark color to go up to the level of the crayon part, we're going to have to select some of these polygons as well. So to do that, I am going to Shift Alt and click on the line that separates the polygons that make the row. If I shift click on the face of the polygon here, I get a different row. But if I click on the line between them, I get this. I can go Assign and deselect. I can do this one and Assign and deselect, and this one Assign. And do I need to go a little bit further? Let's try it. That one and Assign. Let's come out and have a look at that. Okay, I want this part to be dark as well, so let's go back into edit mode and let's go a little further. Let's select that and assign, and let's see how that's done. That's pretty good. How about that? Okay, so let's come on down to the bottom and see what we can do down here. Let's go into edit mode and see. Okay, if I select on the line, Shift Alt and click that and assign, it looks like maybe I could do that one as well. Assign. And how have I done? I could maybe take this edge, Shift Alt and click that edge. Maybe I can bring that up a little bit and tighten things up. Let's try that. All right, I think I want this part to be dark as well, like the paper. So we got to go a bit further. Let's go back into face selection. Let's make sure we've got that one. Shift Alt and click that one. Shift Alt and click that one and assign. And let's see how far it goes now. Oh, I think that's perfect. All right, I don't know if about that color for the crayon. Now we can do something else as well. Let me see if there's something else that I can do up here though. Maybe I want to take this edge and edge selection, Shift Alt and click it. Maybe I want to bring this edge down a little bit more. Just tighten that up a bit more. And let's zoom out and see how that looks. Well, you know what? I think I may want to make that a bit darker. Oops. I may, in face selection, I may want to grab that row and assign. No, that's going to do that. So let's not do that yet. Let's instead grab that edge and let's pull it down even further. I think we've got what we need. All right, there's something else we can do. Let's add some black lines on this. Let's go into edit mode and I'm going to go Control R and I'm going to click and I'm going to pull one up there. And I'm going to go Control R and I'm going to click and I'm going to pull another one. I'm going to make a little space. All right, this space I'm going to make a dark black line. So I'm going to need to make a black material. So let's do that. Plus, new, and let's click on the color and drag it down. Doesn't have to go right to the bottom, but in the settings, under viewport color, let's, with the eyedropper, select that black. Now, I haven't assigned that black to anything yet, so let's select this row of polygons in face selection. So I did Control Tab to bring up that menu. Shift Alt and click, not on the polygon, although in that case it worked, but doesn't matter, I guess. With that material selected, I'm going to go assign, but something weird's going to happen, and again it's because of the subdivision surface, which we want to keep it smooth. All we've got to do to solve this is put in another edge loop, Control R, and drag it up. All right, there we go. And if I want, I can put another one here and I can drag it down just so that I get the black in the area I want it, and I get that. All right, now it looks a little bit rough, but when we click the render button, it looks all right. All right, a little bit shiny, but that's what happens when you render just, you know, in the viewport with OpenGL. Now if I want to do another one, I could do one. I probably couldn't get one the exact same width, so I'm just going to go Control R. I'm going to bring in another edge loop, and I'm going to see if I can use this one as the top and use this new one as the bottom. So I'm going to Control Alt click there, and I go assign, but I'm going to get some of this. So all right, I'll bring in another edge loop and I'll drag it up till the black is constrained to where I want it, just like that, and I'll get two. It looks a little bit more like a crayon. Okay, so that's good for that. So why don't we maybe bring this up? Okay, we'll go Shift A, add a plane, scale, I don't know, 6, let's say. All right, and let's give this a color. Let's make a new material for this. I don't know, let's make it a gray color like that. Okay, and let's, in the viewport, let's select it so we can see that. Here, I'll give it a little bit of thickness. I'll go E to extrude and I'll pull down so it looks like a little bit of a table. Select it all, Control N in case any of my normals were flipped. I think they were. And then we'll have like a little bit of a table there, and we'll have our crayon. Let's rotate this so it's lying down. Let's rotate it around the X, RX 90, but let's go minus so it's facing that way. Bring it down so it pretty much rests. And if you can't see, go to say number 1 and do something like that. Okay, so there's that one. Let's make another crayon. Shift D and pull it out. We can rotate in the Z a little bit so it looks like that, or this way. But let's make another color now. So let's come up to here. Let's maybe make a blue or a yellow one. I don't know. Maybe we go over yellow like that maybe. And for the viewport color, we'll change it to yellow. Now we have to assign this to the particular area, and it gets a little tough for this. Let's just go into edit mode for this. And one way that you can do it is you can start at an extreme point like there. Choose that point. And I want to select more and more and more and more down to the paper. So select that point way out there and then go Control plus, and it'll select the next region. Control plus, and keep going, but maybe zoom in, Control plus. Keep going like this until you get right down to about there, and let's try it. Let's click the yellow and assign, and we'll see if that's enough. Well, I see a region there, so we need to go one more, Control plus one more time, assign, and it'll get rid of that, and we'll get that yellow in there. Let's go and do the bottom. And I see that I need to do some work on the bottom here because of this stretching pattern, so there's a way to fix that. So let's do that first. Let's select that. Let's hit, you know what we could do? We didn't bevel that edge. So let's in edge selection, grab that and go Control B and pull back 1, 2, and that should get rid of that. All right, and we get a bit of a sharper edge anyhow. Let's do that over here so we don't forget. Let's select this edge here, not the inner edge, this edge. Control B, pull away, 1, 2, and we're done. Okay, all right, back to this guy. Now in face selection, grab this face at the very end and go Control plus, Control plus, Control plus, Control plus, Control plus. I think we have to go one more, select the yellow and assign, and I think we got it all. But the paper itself needs to be a yellowish tinge, maybe a darker yellow. So let's go plus, new, and we'll go yellow again, but we'll make it, drag this down, make it a bit duller yellow, and the viewport color, select that, and now we're going to have to go in here and very carefully, well, the first thing we can do is we can certainly go Shift Alt and click that easily, and with that material selected, go assign. And then from there, we're going to have to come down. Okay, don't worry about this brown. We're going to address that. We're going to go Shift Alt and click there, and just try to get all these little areas. Shift Alt and click, and if you do that, Control Z. Let's come on in, zoom in as close as you need to. Shift Alt and click on that line, and that line, and that line, and let's try assigning there and seeing if that is enough. I think it is down there at the bottom. Let's go up here. Okay, Shift Alt and click that, and that, and that, and that. Let's go ahead and assign, and let's see if we need to do some more up here. We do. Okay, deselect that, Shift Alt and click here, 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 oh, Control Z, here, here, here. I think that's going to be enough. No, there's one more. There, assign, come on out, and we now have a yellow crayon. Let's have a quick look at that. Now, one thing you can do to simulate some shadows, because there aren't any real lights, is you can come up to shading and you can put on ambient occlusion, and that will add some shadows. You can actually even change the strength if you want. That's a little crazy though. And then when you do a quick render, it'll look a little bit more realistic. Okay, we're just having fun doing the model. Let's do another one. Shift D, let's bring this up here. Let's see if we can stand this one up. Rotate X 90, and we'll make it a bit taller, or we'll stand it up anyhow, like that. And another thing we can do, by the way, is we can rotate this so that the tip is not always the same way. Let's go rotate Z and just arbitrarily do that. All right. Okay, so let's make a green one. Plus and new. New material. We add a new slot. We're making a new material, and I haven't been naming these, by the way. Let's drag this over to green, a little bit darker, and that's the green we're going to do. Whoa. All right, why not? Select that green. Now we got to tell it where to put it. So let's go into edit mode, and let's grab this top face, select that, and then go Control plus. Keep going Control plus until you get down to there, probably another one. We may have to even go another further than that. Select the green and go assign and zoom in. And, I think we did it. Cool. Okay, let's go to the bottom. A little hard to get this one, so let's select the plane and go H to hide it, and then we can look underneath. Edit mode, select that, Control plus, Control plus, keep going, Control plus. Select the green, and yep, okay, wow, that is very green. Okay, we got to make the green sort of paper, so let's, I mean, I could click this and go copy material, and then go plus and new, and then go paste material, and then I can just adjust this a little bit, maybe just do something like that, and then a viewport color. Okay, so if you got a color that you like, you can copy it and use it as a start. Let's go into this and go Shift Alt and click on that part. We can go Control plus a couple of times, but that brings me up to the black level. If I do Control plus again, I get the next. You can always go Control minus to make it a lesser of a selection. Make sure that's selected, go assign. Let's go up here first. Select there and there. We can go assign, deselect, come back up here. And that one and assign. So you can do one at a time if you like and see how it happens. Let's grab Shift Alt and click on that line and that line and that line and that one, that one, and that one, and I think that's it for the top. Hopefully there's enough color difference between those two. You can always work on that. And down near the bottom, we can do that line and that one and that one. That one, let's try that. Okay, we gotta go one more, I think. Okay. Deselect those, and I'll do, I think that one, and I think that's it. Let's come out and see if that's, yeah, that'll work. Let's go Alt H and bring back the plane. Yeah, okay, good enough. Let's have a look, let's find a position that we like that. Click that. You know, we could just keep on going with different colors. I'll do one more. Let's do a blue one. Standing up, another one. Shift D to duplicate it. Pull it this way, and then pull it that way. Push it a bit, and let's rotate this. Rotate Z so that it's not standing the exact same way as this one. I could make it even a different height if I want. Nah, I'm not going to, because then I will have to adjust this and make it seem like it's being used. So I'm not going to worry about that. Let's just make another material, plus and new, and we'll make this one blue. All right, something like that. The viewport color is blue. Okay, we'll go into this and select this top face. Again, I'm in face selection, Control plus plus a bunch of times till we get down to the paper, to there, and I think we got to go one more. And click on the blue and assign. Yeah, I think that's good enough for that part. And come to the bottom. Oh, same problem. Okay, let's hide that plane again so we can get underneath it. Select that, zoom in. I can hit the period key to zoom right in and center it. Control plus till there, and one more to get that small row. Assign. Yeah, you got the blue, and let's make another material. I can go back to this one, by the way, and copy it and go over there again, new, and then paste it. I'll make it a darker color, a little bit less. Do it like that. All right, come down to viewport color and select it. And now we go in. Shift Alt and click there, and we'll find that material. There it is. Hit assign. Let's come down to the bottom first. And shift that one, this one, I'll just keep going. Nope, Control Z. I think I missed one in there. Nope. Let's do that first, and then we'll come in and get that one. Assign. That should be the bottom. This row and this row and this row. Let's do that. And there we go. That should be all of them. Yep. Alt H to bring back our little stage there. Find a position we like. And I like doing these OpenGL renders nice and quick. If you want, you can come over to the camera and you can change the size right here, the resolution. So if you want it really big, you just drag that up. Do that, and then, you've got a bigger image. But that's basically it for making the crayons. Thanks for watching.